Hi, I'm Daniel Fisher here at Sweetwater Sound, and today we're showing both of the Moog Sound Studio bundles. So what are the Moog Sound Studio bundles? Basically, they're pairings of two of Moog's famous modules. They are Eurorack modules. They are also semi-modular. We'll explain that in a little bit. But basically, these are standalone boxes that can each create sound on their own or interact with each other or themselves via the cables that come with. And they're very, very powerful studio tools. All three of these modules have been used in professional studios and live performances. They are real musical tools, and they're also real scientific instruments. And that's what makes this whole thing a really fantastic educational opportunity. And so how did it start? Well, Moog would do these shows at an AM show or various places. They would travel, and they would build something like this. And after customers sat down and played with them, they would always say, hey, where can I get exactly that, like this whole thing as it is? And so Moog decided to make these two bundles based on those requests. Obviously, each of these three modules, the DFAM, the Subharmonicon, and the Mother-32, can all be purchased separately. But with the bundle, you're getting all of that plus some extra things. So aside from the two Eurorack synthesizers, either the Subharmonicon in DFAM or the Mother-32 in DFAM, is the ability to put this into a two-tier rack. So it comes with these side panels as well as a back rail. And then this is something new, an attachment that allows you to have this cable holder, which is very, very convenient to have the cables right there. Each of the colors are different lengths, and so you know what to grab. And I really like that they've finally gone to the old school Moog colors, so it looks more like the old Model 15, or the System 55. Then a really important addition is the mixer on the back. And this has two roles. One, it'll allow 4 inputs that either can be a pair of stereo or 4 mono ins, and you have switches on the back that let you choose whether each pair is mono or stereo. And so if you just do a single output from each of these in the mixer, that means you have a stereo pair still that you can bring in another synthesizer or recorded music that you're going to play this against, or sound effects or anything. It's very flexible, and all of that mixes to a single headphone output with its own dedicated volume knob. So you don't have to worry about how am I going to get all of this to a pair of headphones. You just plug into the headphone out and you're done. If you want to go to stereos, you plug into that same thing and you can go to a little powered mixer, you can go to a large PA, you can go to anything you want, and it's going to sound great. The other thing that mixer does, though, that's very cool, is it takes a single power input and it splits it to the two devices. And it actually has a third output where if you wanted, you could actually get a 3-tier rack and add another one of any of these 3 to that, and everything will just rise up. So the whole thing is very expandable. And then after a while, if you were to go into a very large Eurorack system, all of these front panels come out and can just mount to a standard Eurorack case. And so you can then build more modules from there and get quite crazy. So it's just a very good start. All right, so now just a quick overview of what's in the box. I'm going to start with this assembly instructions poster that when you're done with it, you flip it over and it's just a very nice full-size poster. And basically it shows you all the parts that it comes with and assembly instructions on how to build this bundle. And then you get a cardboard cutout sheet and you use that to make all of your little standouts here. And then you also get to fold up this box that holds the die. And they've got all the rules inside for how that works. You also get screwdrivers and what my dad used to call a diddle stick at Motorola. It's basically a screwdriver that's non-conductive so that your hands and body do not affect the adjustment. You get a Moog sticker, you get a registration card that lets you either register online or you can actually mail it if you're from the previous century. And then you get the very important 4-channel mixer. You get 2 power supplies, and they can be quite universal in that you have power supply connectors for all the different countries. And then you also get yet another poster. One side is a fun poster. The other side is the history of Moog gear, and it shows many of their famous Moog synthesizers, all done in this cartoon type style. And then for those people who want to get really serious, there is the full-blown Subharmonicon manual and the DFAM manual. And then these 2 1/4-inch cables are used to go one from the Subharmonicon, one from the DFAM into the mixer. And like I said, you can either make that mono or stereo depending on how you want it to come out in your ears. So that's that. And here's what's in the second box. This is the one for the Mother-32 in the DFAM. Things are yellow based instead of blue based and slightly different color scheme, but a lot of it's the same. One big difference, of course, is the assembly guide is different. The build is the same, but it's showing the other two boxes, but you get a different poster. So if you buy both sets, you have lots of things to hang around the room. You get a different set of pop-outs. This dice box is going to be different because the game is slightly different, because now instead of a Subharmonicon, you have a Mother-32, which has different inputs and outputs. But after that, it's all pretty much the same. So for very young kids who would get a lot out of doing this, but might be intimidated by the starkness of and the complexity of it, you know, they have all these little cartoon cutouts and related posters and things like that. All of it kind of combines into this concept of how to use this, and that all wraps around this game here. And what they do is have you go to this jumping off point, and it basically shows you where to set every one of these knobs, and then some cabling, which I've done. And once you've done that, you can then play the game where you take these dice, and the rules are right here on the box. And what they're telling you is that the black die is an output and the white die is an input. And what you do is you just throw it, and it says 3 and 2, and then you grab a cable. 3 is VCOEG, and 2 is VCO1 sub. And then try what that does. And for more advanced students, you can try and guess what the result's going to be. And that's the point of these two bundles. Now, I've taught synthesis for many years of my life. I taught at Berklee College of Music for 5 years. I've taught at St. Francis University. I teach at Purdue. And I also teach here at Sweetwater University. And the one thing I've noticed is that when people all of a sudden understand synthesis, whether that's how something modulates something else, or how to do signal flow, or how to troubleshoot why something's not working, all of that applies to all the fields of physics. It helps you understand how light works. It helps you understand how sound works. It helps you understand how all mechanical things work. Because there's a universalness to the whole thing that you really get when you have a professional, scientifically accurate tool to try these experiments on. And so the dice then take some of the fear away. Sometimes kids just don't want to make a decision on something complex. They're worried they're going to hurt something, or they're worried they're going to make a stupid decision and someone will laugh at them. The dice says here, you know, we're going to take an output and an input, and so it says number 4. So we're going to go from VCO2 to number 4 on the other side, which is cutoff. And then you see what that sounds like. And each bundle has a dedicated box because they're two different configurations, and each one is designed so that when you roll the dice, you're going to get some kind of result, and you're going to get a result that sounds interesting. You won't get something that does nothing, which is discouraging. So it's a very clever system. And then that, along with the posters, the simplified manuals, the full-blown manuals, all of this is to just get everybody comfortable with the idea of going in, plugging in, trying things. So in this video, I'm not going to go into deep detail about the DFAM, the Subharmonicon, and the Mother-32 because I've already made lengthy videos on all 3 of them. They will be in our product page for each of these devices as well as for both of these bundles. So now I'll just give you a run through of the game. I'm going to start with this exploration patch book, which, like I said, has the jumping off point. And I've set all of the knobs exactly the way they've shown you here to get it ready for this, including the 2 cables. So now, theoretically, I should be able to just hit run and start with a starting kind of sound. And now that that's set up at the jumping off point, we can now play the game. You throw the die. I have a 4 and a 5. So 4, there it is. And then I have to go to number 5, which is VCO mod. And so now I should hear something different about this because I have an additional modulation route going. Here we go. And the sequence you're hearing is something I just entered in prior, but I can do a fresh one. You simply hit record, which is shift and record, and I just add in a melody. I'll run it. Now I should be a little happier sound this time. And just to show you what that might sound like if you were going to a DAW, a digital audio workstation, or just to a recorder and had something like reverb and delay, it might sound like this. So now moving on to the dice game for the other bundle, which is the DFAM and the Subharmonicon. We have a different box here, and I'm going to throw the dice. And I've got a 6 and a 5. I need to go from pitch out to rhythm 1. Let's see what that sounds like. Let's try one more. I got a 5 and a 1. So it's telling me to take the velocity out and go into the VCO1 in. Let's see what that does. Huh. So hopefully this quick demonstration will show you why both of the Moog Sound Studio bundles are fantastic for all educational purposes. If you have any further question about these or other Moog products, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. My name is Daniel Fisher. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. For more videos like these, click here or go to sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs.